Hey, hey, hey. How are we? I am doing well, thank you. So today we're going to be adding some more armor modifiers. And then we need to fix the screen for the solidifier, which we might do first. What's something else? Oh yeah, shift click in support. It should work. Because I added it for multiple levels as well. But I think it's only set to 1 in normal. Terracopolis definitely has the latest version, so it should be fine. We could take a quick look, but the logic doesn't really touch anything. It just inherits the. Well, no, it kind of does use its own logic, but it shouldn't be affected by anything in Terracopolis. Yeah, because all we change is the base level here, which is part of the player. step assist was surprisingly easy to add. It definitely seems fine. Are you sure it definitely has step assist? Oh, don't say that. There is a good chance it might be that, actually. I mean, we can test it. How the hell do I OP myself? I don't know if that worked. The thing is, that code should run both sides. Because if the client player has it, you shouldn't be able to move anyway. So I'm hoping it's not that. I still can't give myself anything. The thing is, it doesn't launch with a console. Oh wait, maybe it does. I swear last time it told me it was read only. It still didn't work. We'll just set it back to normal. But yeah, that I just want to be able to do it from the player really. Not even 15 minutes in, and we're already on a tangent. It does work. Seems fine. Doesn't even show up on the tooltip. So it definitely doesn't have it then. The way the tooltips work is they directly read the data components on the items. So there's no way that it wouldn't read it. Which is bizarre. So maybe the what's it called? The equipment modifier. Maybe that isn't working in multiplayer? Yeah, it looks like it doesn't apply. But it works in single player. That's really strange, if that's the case. To be honest, it doesn't apply in single player. Is this working? Seems weird if it's not working. I mean, that worked. I wonder if I didn't change it to be a integer based upgrade, because I think originally I set it as a true or false one. Where's the list gone? There's the glaring, obvious problem. I didn't add the recipe for it to work inside the actual entity. So the recipe's there, the recipe works, but the block entity doesn't know how to translate that into an effect. So it should just be as easy as doing that. And then that should work. How did I forget to add that? Yeah, there we go. Luckily, we had that debug that the items always show their effects. Okay, so we should probably look at the screen. I have noticed this as before as well, but I have no idea why it's doing it because the order should be the same as it is in all my other mods. But it does work in the equipment modifier, which is weird. But then the durability doesn't. Wait, I thought it was the solidifier that didn't work. I'm sure I saw a picture on Discord about it. I can't find it anywhere. I'm sure I literally saw it this morning. The output item's the problem. Wait, it's actually in the right place. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, but that shows, so if you look at the tooltip there, it shows the gem mold behind it, which is correct. I'm going to say that it isn't actually a casting thing. I wonder if it's a shader thing. I say I noticed some weirdness with the damage bar, but I have no idea why that's happening. Yeah, that looks fine to me. I say the damage bar is bizarre. Yeah, it could be dark mode anyway, but then I'm not sure how that would change the order. I think it just applies a tint, similar to how we used the tint for the colours mod. Except they affect GUIs and we affect, well, GUI items and in-world stuff. It's hard to tell from the picture though if they've got shaders on. Don't think they do. If I look at it properly, it doesn't look like it. I mean, that looks fine as well. Nope, not shaders. And not dark mode anywhere. Well, I have no idea. Probably sank in the something overriding the GUI ordering, but then there's nothing that should directly target any specific mods things. Well, we don't need to do the screen then. Right, the shift click and support. We could probably do that quickly as well. So the idea is that some tools will have the ability to turn off their abilities. It was going to be in the form of a pocket item that you put the tool into, but then it would be really hard to track like the level and stuff, and shift just might be easier. So I think obviously excavate needs to be one. Excavate's a pain. So the excavation still doesn't work properly. So we definitely need to re-look at excavation. I need to change it so instead of a completely different way of doing it, it needs to hook into the original block breaking and then just apply it to the blocks around it. Because having it as its own thing is just, it's not working. Plus it means if we ever add another tool modifier, I have to add it to both. So maybe we do the rework of that first. Because this is what triggers when we do excavating. See, it's strange because we passed the loop parameters in here still. I'm sure we use this in break area. And it should be getting the block entity. And it would be nice as well if we added the break-in overlay, so you know exactly what area it's breaking. because we might be able to simplify it into the actual main method, which is ideally what we want. So it's a server thing again. I mean, that makes no sense at all. Screens are literally called client side, so that shouldn't be a thing at all. Still looks fine here. Unless it is shaders on servers, but then that's even weirder. I say the whole screen logic is done client side, so it really shouldn't matter. In fact, if you call anything screen related on the server side, you crash. Yeah, you've got to love GUI stuff. It's good. As I say, there's no way, unless it is something to do with the shaders, or the dark side only on, or dark mode only on server side. But even that seems weird. could try this. You still need to get the face. Try something like that. So we moved all the other effects inside this. Which means that this is then called in the break method. But it's also called in the excavate method. So the same logic should be applied to both now. But let's be honest, it's not going to be that easy. I'll take it back. Okay, so that was not too bad at all. So we need to add the tool drops again, don't we? Probably just add it here. Get destroy speed. Oh, that's another thing. I want to actually add the destroy speed to be 9x. Well, however many x of the excavation area. So it's not just like instant. I mean, it should just be that. I mean, that does work. Is that how excavation used to work? With the if it breaks something that isn't valid, it just doesn't work. I don't know if I like that. But then I don't really know how we can prevent it. Because it works for this, which is exactly the behaviour you want. But you don't want to be able to just not break stuff with it, I guess. Like that should work, but it should only break one, right? If you put it on a shovel, it would. The Paxel actually works perfectly. Well, at least it used to anyway. Doesn't anymore. That's because I was using the wrong one. But yeah, that does work. Obviously, there's still the face is not working properly, but so the packs will still work fine. What we need to do is we need to get the side of the block that the player interacts with. But it's really hard to do that inside the block break method. The player direction clearly isn't doing it. But see, I'm not sure why it... Well, I guess direction, I'll be looking down when I was breaking it, so that kind of makes sense. But then the top should be the face it checks. So we could add... Is tool correct? We could do that bit at the beginning. We could try that. So that should make excavate break the block regardless of it's the right block state. But then the excavation won't trigger. Okay, so that's perfect. But then that's not working. That's because that doesn't have a correct tool thing, I guess. Which probably is fine. Yeah, I think that should be fine. It's better than what it was anyway. So I think the best way to get the actual... I'm sure you can't get it from inside the block break event. Because obviously when you do the block break, there is no face of a block anymore. Because the block doesn't exist. And I don't think there's a block event, block break pre. So the only thing I could think of is if we did another event that was the text, the left click, which would obviously be the start of breaking a block. And then we could save the hit direction of the block. Possibly. And then that should give us more accurate face detection. But this we'll probably need a map for it. Which it might be alright. Let's just try it, see what happens. I guess we want to save it to the player. I mean, we could store it as the UUID. I guess we'll have to use UUID because if we use player, it will override with every single player that breaks a block. So it probably won't work on servers. Let's just try with UUID. I'm not even sure how you save it, but we could try. Does that look correct? Obviously we don't need that. Probably check for the item having excavate on it. Otherwise we're going to be saving this every time, which is probably not needed. So we can try that. If we have excavating, when we left click with the tool, it should get the correct side of the block. But only when we have excavation. As I say, you don't want to do it with non-excavation, otherwise it's just going to override all the time when it's not needed. The only time where it could get a bit weird is if you manage to have like super fast braking speed and maybe it skips the left click detection. There we go, so it gets it straight away, which is perfect. And then without it, it doesn't. So then in the block break we can change the face. like that, and then that should definitely read it off the right player as well. I don't think it would ever be possible for it to be null. But if we do that anyway, it will, just in case. There's never a direction you don't want it to crash. So let's try that. Now that looks a lot better. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's the behaviour I want. So it's not dependent on the player's direction anymore, it's dependent on the direction of the block you break. Nah, I won't be able to break bedrock. As I say, we already checked for the right harvest level. But now all that's built into the actual excavating properly, it should be working a lot better. Plus, it means if we ever have to change or add any new modifiers, it should be perfectly fine. Because it all falls back to the main method now instead of its own separate one. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's exactly how we want it to work. Because before, if you were to click here like this, it would break this two as well, but it wouldn't break the two side ones. Because it would go based on the player's direction. That actually works surprisingly well. I think that's all we changed, isn't it? Now uses the proper logic, fixes block entities. Directions now based on the face of the block. And excavating tool, correct tool. Yeah, I think that's it. And then we just want to add shift support, which I think would be easy. That should be it. So it depends how do we want it. Do we want shift support to enable it or shift support to disable it? So I'm not sure what would be better really. It's that, or we could make it a toggle button or something. But I think probably shift is probably just easier. But yeah, I don't know what's better, shift or not shift. I mean, we could do a toggle. I mean, I've never done one before, but we can try it. We had something. Do you remember the old Caveopolis spray cans that used to have the mass spray button? We could probably implement something like that. But then we kind of have to save that somewhere as well. Not sure how we'd save it actually. Because I think before we saved it to the item stack. I don't think we really want to save. We could do it. We could save it to the item and add even more data components. If you think a toggle would be better, then we should probably do that. But I'm just wondering if shift's just easier, just to get on board with, and then we could probably look at adding it maybe in the future. Because ideally, you'd want to be able to. Actually, ideally, you want to be able to toggle this inside of a modification block, which is what I wanted to do anyway. So maybe having every single data component have an enabled / disabled part. Thing is, what happens if I give the tool excavate 0? If I give it excavation 0, it should work as normal, right? I think, do we want to do it now? This is going to be massively complicated if we do it. But we could add the modification table. God, that's going to be horrible to do though. Don't think. Well, this is the thing. I don't want to go too big now, in case I have to rewrite a lot of this in 1.21, 1.22. The whole reason we're doing it now, anyway, is because I wanted to see how the system would look. I think it works quite good, to be fair, and it's going to get better every version. I think we just do it as a shift to disable, and then in the future we can look at it, because so certain ones that are on level base, you could just set their level to 0 and that will disable it. So like the Silk Touch one would be difficult because it's a boolean of true or false, but you could just disable that to false anyway, because it would still be on the tool. So if we just have in the back of our minds that in the future we want to do the modifications, which I think we have most of the effects to work correctly if their level is 0. And then changing something from true to false is just easy. It's just the actual setting up of the screen, which would be horrible. because we'd have to list every single modifier the tool has, probably implement a scroll bar, plus clicking interactions to disable a level or only go up to the level that your tool already has. Yeah, I think we'll leave it as shift. So we just make it, you hold shift and it doesn't excavate. And then we just need to show that somewhere. So maybe actually on the modifier itself. Not sure if you can do the \n on a tooltip because it implies a new line. It'd be nice if it did just work and it went on the line underneath. Yeah, that should be fine. To be fair, I think even with the modification stuff in the future, you'd probably still want to have that shift tooltip. Right. I believe that's the only effect you kind of want to disable, isn't it? Maybe Silk Touch? And maybe Auto Smelt? I mean, they probably make sense because you probably want to just having the ability to enable or disable it's probably nice. It should be relatively simple to do. So that's Auto Smelt. Silk Touch. What was the other one? Step Assist. I'm glad we set this up like this because it makes it a lot easier to add certain things like this. I guess you'd want it like that, so shift to disable across the board I think makes sense. I think what we need to do is actually decrease this. Just to make it a bit more responsive. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Basically that's there so it doesn't spam check, which it doesn't really need to do. What was the other one? Silk Touch. Yeah, perfect. Hey, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. We only set that one 715 goal a couple of days ago. So we're actually doing quite well. Maybe I need a gap. Just want to make it look a bit better. That's interesting though, because I didn't know tooltips could have the next line feature. Well, that definitely doesn't work. But I really want it to work. Can't remember how you do it. Apparently you just add another bracket front. Maybe that? Did you spam Discord? Because I didn't even see it, to be fair. And then adding one makes it error. Maybe that? I don't know what I'm doing. All I want to do is add this to another line. With the sign. How is this the hardest part so far? God, it doesn't like any of it. What are we missing here? That definitely didn't work, did it? What? Did we not try that? Yeah, literally, it's on the Water Smelt now. Oh, no way. There's no way that was working a minute ago. I'm sure that wasn't working a minute ago. When it's the same. It's exactly the same. But for some reason it doesn't work with Silk Touch. Has the Streamlabs not ran at all the whole time? I don't care. Everything's falling apart. Because of full screen. So when you're on full screen, it doesn't work. I mean, why is that a thing? Why is that happening? That is the most strangest thing I've done. Unless I was right all along about the new lines thing and the tooltips. I think I'm right. I think that you can't do lines inside a tooltip translation. I think that's what it is. Fine. Fine. Where's my tooltips? Oh my god. So that adds it to the actual level. We don't want to do that. Hey, welcome. I'm not sure if it's because of the way I'm handling the tooltip. Where's my item? Here. It only renders right when the screen's smaller. Oh yeah, the Streamlabs. Oh, it's all coming back. Is it the one you sent in Discord? That only works based on if you create an item inside the game. This is translations. I think we can just, if we modify this and just add the tooltip underneath for the specific ones that need the shift to disable thing. So we can try that. Probably need to do that as well. Wait, where have I added that? Tooltip max level. Oh, it needs to be here. Where are we getting the tool type? Oh god. Definitely it would have to go in there. But it's not going to render, I don't think. We're going to have to use the index thing. We're going to have to actually index this in an order. I think. Which is going to suck. Because you can do that, so that would always be the first tooltip. The thing is, you don't care about tool type, we only care about the actual item. Maybe we could try it. So you're saying that, yeah? Oh, single. mean, it would be nice if that just worked. As I say, I think the problem with it is that it's a tooltip, a single line of it in a tooltip. So you can't add an additional line inside a tooltip. Because we are technically overriding what a tooltip is doing. Yeah, it's because of the tooltip, so we're going to have to order all this. Like that, yeah? Nope. It's fine, we'll just have to order it. We've done it already somewhere anyway. So we just need to add an index count at the start. So let's just see what that looks like. They should look exactly the same, except the ordering is being ordered inside this. Now we need to get a specific tool. Actually, we could just add... Oh, we could have done this a lot easier, actually. We could just add... Yeah, no, let's get rid of this. Because the stack is actually... has what is on it. We could just tag them. That might even be even easier. Yeah, let's just tag them. Where are my tags? So if we just tag like that, Thank you very much for the sub. I'll take it. Oh, this is definitely not a common tag, actually. This will be a normal tag. Inside casting. What I don't understand is why I can't see it. Because I didn't get it right. So if it has that tag, then we'll turn it to true. And we could just do that. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. So it's Silk Touch, Step Assist, Auto Smelt, and Excavate. So now if we just add any equipment modifier that can be disabled with shift, we can add that in there. And then we should be fine. That will do the tooltips. To be fair, we probably do this as like a global thing as well. If the item as its modifier is in that tag, then we add shift support to it. But if this works, we'll just stick with this. We've been streaming for an hour and 40 minutes and we haven't added a single new modifier. Question is, do we want to add this actually as a global thing now? Or probably don't need to. Let's just add night vision. Let's get some modifiers going. Yeah, we fixed a couple. I'm happy about the excavation changes. I think they're massive changes, to be fair, and the shift clicking is quite useful. To be honest, it's not that different because you'd still have to add is excavation and is tool a part of the tag. So there's no real point. It's just having shift down works. As long as you just remember to add the modifier to the tag, it should be fine. So next, where's the magnet? Always forget to add it to that as well. So we want to add night vision, water breathing. We'll do the 2 helmet ones first. So that will only be valid for helmets, obviously. I guess none of these need to be disabled. If you're going to put night vision on, you're going to have to just use it all the time. But again, that is where the modifier table thing will come into its own. Don't need to touch screen. Don't need to touch recipe. Look how many disgusting data components we have to add. And that's just for fluids. Hopefully we don't have to do that in the future though. We could probably make it simpler. Right, so let's do... yeah, this is fine. We can just put it in here. I mean, there's no way that's going to work, is there? Surely. It looks correct. It's just probably the duration that's wrong. But yeah, if the night vision is in the head slot, provide night vision. That's all it needs to be. Is water breathing an effect? It actually is. So that makes it even easier. Okay. Then we just need to add the recipe. So we could do night vision potions, but probably golden carrots. Or carrots and gold. What do we think? Carrots or something else? I mean, we could just use the stuff that the potions use. And I use golden carrots, to be fair. So I think we do golden carrots for night vision. And then we can do maybe puffer fish for water breathing. Six should be fine. What I think we need to do as well is we need to add damage. Definitely to the effects there. Maybe every... It's a hard one. Yeah, it's a hard one because I don't know how much damage to deal. Might have to remove this tick count here. So the hurt and breaks on the tool. So it's tricky because you don't want night vision to only work at night. Also, why did that only write one? We'll see what this looks like. Because it's easy with water because you can track when a player is underwater. But you can't detect if a player is in darkness and needs night vision. Would help if I had it, could have created that. Pretty sure we just done that. Tooltips, casting, night vision. There we go. Perfect. So now we can just try it. As we use the equipment modifier, why not? There we go. I mean, it took a lot of damage. I will say that. So if we do that every 60 ticks, or what, every 3 seconds it takes damage? We'll make it a lot higher. Because there's no real way to disable it at the minute. Yeah, that's fine. So now you just have night vision all the time. If we make it like 20, 22 ticks maybe? Then hopefully it will never flash between the 000 and 0001 on the time. Yeah, that works. And then it goes. Oh god, that's horrible. Why does that happen? We need to do something about that. I think that's the effect that happens when you lose in night vision. That is horrible. fog renderer. Is it that? I feel like we need to fix this. Could be a job for Core. Definitely going to be a mix, if I know that much. I mean, it looks like it might be here. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to add this into Core. Okay, another tangent. God, we're doing a lot of mixins. It's definitely his client side. So I think it's this we want to change. So we just override the duration to like fucking 1 or something, and then that should be fine. Because I can't see a need to have that flash. Because it's just painful, there's no need for it. Just trying to work out where's the best part to override. I mean, we could literally just null it, I guess. Yeah, I don't think you can override a mixing, can you? It might just be as easy as that. Because it looks like it triggers when it drops below 10 seconds, so 200 ticks. So if the player or mob or whatever has it, then it's always 1.0. That way it doesn't fade in and out, in and out, in and out. At least that's the thought process. There we go, just like that. Okay, so back to casting. Update to the latest core. And then hopefully that will work with what we've done. Which means back in the armor event we can put it back as 22. There we go, perfect. That was pretty painless, to be fair. We'll move that there, so it only triggers when the player's underwater. Is that a bit too fast, maybe? Well, I think that would be alright for default values. But I think this should be something that mod packs can change. Like if you set it to 0, it disables, right? Or crashes. I guess we just make this modifiable, I think. Oh, it might need to be higher than that. We'll put night vision to 600. And then water breathing to 100. That should be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Right, I think that's going to be it for today. We've got quite a bit done, to be fair, considering. I'm probably going to work on... So I'm working on something else for casting, but it's kind of a secret at the minute. So I'm probably going to carry on working with that. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching.